Hey, Donnie.
Find the sock. How many people does it take to find a sock?
Only two. Actually, Johnny found it himself, glued to the inside of the washing machine.
Did I not say look inside the washing machine?
Good morning, Ruby. What'd you do? Give her almost the whole wash?
I used the stuff.
The detailer?
Yeah, the detailer, and did the whole car, yeah. And the wheels, and dusted her off and all that stuff.
Wow. It's 61 out there this morning. We've left really late. Hopefully we can get to the school on time. It's obviously cleared up and we've got a little bit of morning color, and I'm really hoping for a less eventful day today, like as in no more rock chips. Still going to the appointment at 10:30 this morning to try to get the spot fixed. It hasn't changed over the course of the day yesterday, so that's at least a good sign.
Like front door.
Love you. Have a good day. We're late and there was some confusion about which door to go to. It was like police rushing to a crime scene there as parents pulled up and kids hopped out of cars. I take getting to school on time seriously, but some days we're just running late. All I was really trying to say was there seemed like safety in numbers because we weren't the only ones rushing in there at the last minute this morning. Even though I have to be back in Raleigh at 10:30, it's 7:35 now, and I'm headed back home until it's time to leave to go to the glass place. You know, if it was a little shorter time, like a 9 a.m. appointment or something, I would just hang out and take pictures and play Pokemon, but it's a little too long to hang out. I'm back home now and just checking out where I need to go for the glass repair. And it's not where I thought it would be. I mean, it's no problem where it is, but it's on the east side of Raleigh. So it says 40 minutes. I probably allot 50 minutes. Got to be there at 10:30. So, you know, I can start moving toward the door at 9:30. Good to know. So I could go to the glass place by myself, but then I would be depriving Don of his first chance to test out the new nav on autopilot, and in his case, Mad Max mode.
Yeah.
So not fully understanding what things are driver profile settings and what things are car settings. We're just going to check the customize navigate on autopilot. So you probably want it to start every trip.
Yep.
If you don't go on autopilot, it doesn't do anything. Mad Max, it has require lane change confirmation. That's what you want to set to no.
Right.
And this just says you understand it's not autonomous. And do you want the chime or not want the chime?
I think I want the chime.
Okay, well, we can always come back and turn it off. So it is a profile only thing. Now look, I think on some of these things, there ought to be an indicator, some sort of a little symbol that says, yes, this is specific to your key fob, your profile, or no, it's not.
Right. Because
it can be a little confused. Sometimes Don inadvertently changes something, and I'm like for example, the following distance, isn't it set to 7 right now if you turn the stalk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always push it up to 7, but Don tends to push it down to 4. So I get in the car to go drive, and it's not where I left it. Now, he's not putting it back on purpose, but, you know, he didn't know. So I think they could just a little bit more clear communication. And maybe that one, because it is a driver preference and it can catch you off guard, ought to go into the profile. And just to say, I noticed yesterday that if you navigate someplace and there are no navigate on autopilot eligible roads, the indicator doesn't show up over here. But because we're going up here on the Beltline 440, you know, obviously that's that's where I was yesterday. Navigate on autopilot will work there. Right now, we're just trying to get through Fuquay. We are hopping up onto 440 here. I guess on the south side, it's only 40, and on the north side, it's 440. I don't know. It's the loop that goes under on the south side of the city. Now, Don is not currently in autopilot. but I'm sure he will engage it here shortly. And we'll see.
Oh, wow. She's wanting to get over.
Yeah, you have to. She gave you the charm to apply light force. She did. She took you over.
Wow, that's kind of strange feeling.
So Don has made his first non-confirmed lane change. Oh, she's taking you over again?
That's right, this girl. Well, I'm in Mad Max mode.
You're in Mad Max mode. Well, that's what one of our viewers said yesterday. Mad Max mode was like really like more lane changes to get from point A to point B than the typical driver would make for sure.
Shake a stick at.
Yeah. Changing lane. No, you can't go over right now, Ruby. You can't do that. There's a truck there, Ruby. I'm sorry that you don't like it that it's slow right now. My goodness, girl. He's the truck, Ruby. The truck's not going anywhere, honey. He's right there. No, I can't take it. Don had that under control, but it was just too much for me. I mean, I'm like, when will she? All right, he's just in traffic aware cruise control right now. I'm sure he'll engage autopilot again in a minute. But it was like, Ruby, you know, give up the ship, buddy. That vehicle to your left over there, it's not moving.
Well, right, we were stuck.
I think that's because you were in Mad Max mode. So she was like, I'm moving us to the faster lane. I don't care. Truck.
Yeah, baby.
But I swear she started, it felt to me like she was moving whether that vehicle, even though she had the red line and the vehicle was there, I'm sure that was a figment of my imagination. How did you feel? Was she moving over or not? No. Okay.
The truck
was moving. Okay, so we got closer to the truck because he moved closer to us.
Right.
All right, that's more explainable. I understand now. I have another gray hair. So yesterday, I stayed on 40 East to Benson, Wilmington, taking Michelle to get her car. Today we're taking the east loop part of the Beltline around Raleigh, and so we've taken the left split. This is how it would be if we were headed to Farmville to the glass station, or I was headed over to Scotland Neck out 64 to the Sylvan Heights Waterfowl Park. So the speed limit's here is 65. You're doing 65. So I guess Mad Max hasn't decided to take you over into the left-hand lane yet. We have 1.3 miles to Pool Road.
Yeah, there's enough challenges here.
There's plenty of challenges. Yeah, because I think the 2 lanes, if I'm not mistaken, the 2 lanes on the right stay.
All right, she's got red. She wants over.
Whoa. Yeah, and that's another thing with that truck. I saw him. He was infringing on our line. So she's moving us.
Yeah.
All right, she moved us. And I'm sorry for the bad reflections. It's just I need Don to keep his hands on the wheel. I'm the filmer, and I'm doing the best I can with the vlogging camera. She is now taking us over one more time to get us ready to take the Pool Road exit. And that was nice and smooth, I'd have to say. That was not a problem.
Right.
And those 2 lanes that merged in, those lanes did stay as through lanes like I thought.
Yeah, we're fixing to take this.
Actually take the exit.
Yeah.
You can see, not that it matters, but you can note the little autopilot steering wheel at this exit because she knows that she's going to handle the maneuver.
Yeah, she's going to give us 2 blinks and she's going to take the exit. 1, 2. That's it. You didn't turn the turn signal on.
Yeah.
Baby, you didn't get those first 2 blinks. To hell with you.
Yeah, Don had one time when we were watching yesterday's video, he goes, yeah, you weren't expecting her to actually signal in advance of making that turn, were you? Because, you know, she only does 1 or 2 little blinks, and that's all the notice she's given the other drivers around her that she's moving. So Don's taking control now. She dumped control back to him.
Yep.
Well, you know, the Tesla is, if it's nothing more than entertaining, right? Definitely entertaining. This is the Safe Life Auto Glass place. I mean, it's the warehouse with all of the automotive replacement glass.
This should give you an idea of just how many windshields get broke every day. I mean, this is a huge warehouse with windshields out the wazoo.
Yeah, it's huge. So the nice gentleman inside, who had a smile on his face, told us to please get back in our car and drive all the way around diagonally to the other side of the building. There were no signs telling us to do that. It's like a command center of people making appointments. Wow. Dawn's getting a snack and some coffee, and she said
I've already had my snack for the day.
She says they do about 200 windshields a day here. So the guy that's working on Ruby is a really nice guy.
Steven?
Yeah, and he listened to my concerns with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
And we gave him the once over of a couple of things.
As she was talking to him, she was doing this. And if you do anything to my car.
I told him I treat the car like it's an infant in a car carrier. Helpless, it needs to be handled like a piece of fine china.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to turn off pin on drive.
It's under security and safety. How hard can it be?
I looked under,
Anyway, we remembered to disable pin to drive this time.
Yeah,
and
so the poor guy will be able to bring it back to us without us
he
going back.
knew the door handles were different on all the Teslas, and I just reminded him how they work on the X, and made sure he knew that the back doors from the screen could come up, and you know, you don't want to open them accidentally. So I think we're good. I just was nervous.
Yeah, she's very nervous.
And the important thing is he thinks he can fix it. It's not within 6 inches of the border, although it is close to the autopilot housing, and you know, there's always a chance with the repair that it could make it worse, but probably not. So I'm just gonna go get a water now. I'm gonna breathe. I'll take a picture of the glass windshield repair when we're back at the house. The whole windshield's kind of dirty because of this spring pollen stuff, just that quick. But the guy was able to repatch it. The crack didn't spread. He said over the next 2 days it'll go from looking like a blob of dirt to being much more clear. I'm really hopeful that it's not going to give us any trouble. And you know, it didn't cost us too much, and it was less than an hour, and the guy was really polite about the car, so I'm happy.
Yep.
I'm happy. So we're back out on the belt line now, or getting ready to get back onto 40. We're on the loop around Raleigh on the east side, getting ready to go on the south side. Don's in nav on autopilot. And we're gonna stop by the Target at Cary Crossroads because we hear that looks like there's an Electrify America charging station going in there, and we'd like to see it.
Well, she wasn't going to get over.
Even when you put the turn signal on, or even
I tried to help her, but she just.
So in that scenario with the trailer guy pulling off to the side, you put the turn signal on and she was not moving?
No, she was basically saying, I'm going to slow down. And then, of course, the trucks come up. I sped up to get around the trucks.
So you took back over control there while I was talking, sorry.
Right, well, she kept saying upcoming lane change, but she wouldn't change lanes. She didn't turn on the blinker either. Now, see, she needs to be changing lanes now.
Right, because we are in an exit-only lane.
Well, we're not running out of room
yet, but it is an exit-only lane, so we got a little time to see what she's going to do.
That's right. Although now there's a car zooming up on us. You need to get over, Ruby.
Okay, now she's saying changing lanes to follow route. She put on the signal. She did not put up the red line. She is getting over. And the guy behind us is not that close. Is not really that close.
Yeah, she was okay, but he was. I mean, he's doing 70. Well,
right. Well,
70.
that's the subtle thing that a human can see. You know, this nav on autopilot's looking with, I guess, with the side cameras and the front cameras, but probably not too much with the rear camera, or paying attention to what's happening behind the car. Which, of course, as a person, we're looking at all 360 degrees.
Well, yeah.
As many as we can see, not barring the blind spots. So we have 5 miles to our exit, 5.8 miles. However, the exit lane for this 293 X West 64, whatever. I think it's 293.
Yeah, it's Clover.
No, it's not. I misspoke there. Anyway, this exit in 5 miles, what I'm trying to say is it has a really long turn lane, or exit lane. It's like a mile of exit ramp or lane leading up to the actual exit. So I'm gonna be curious to see when she wants to get into that exit. And I assume she's going to stay in this lane unless we get a slow-moving vehicle up in front of us. It just so happens she is changing lanes into a faster lane, and she did that time, I'm just going to say, because the van that was in our right lane took the exit and was slowing down. I noticed sometimes on autopilot that she will slow based on a car that's really not in her lane. And I think that's what she did there. She wanted to get away from that vehicle which was slowing down but in a different lane than us. And then of course she had to wait for another vehicle in the lane she wanted to move to go by, which she did, and she did well, but so when she was moving into the faster lane, what was your observation?
Well, there was a car already in this lane, and it was a safe distance. Her maneuver was very safe. However, the car that was already in this lane was doing 70, and I've got it doing 65, the speed limit. So the car zoomed up on me pretty quick. In other words, I don't know that she was cognizant that that car was moving that quick. And the other thing, she got over because somebody was exiting. The car had exited, so there was no reason to get over, but she had already made up her mind that she was going to get over into the faster lane because the car was slowing down to exit. And she missed the fact that it actually exited, and the lane was now totally free, and she didn't have to get over at all. So she got over in front of a faster moving car, who then the guy crawled up on my bumper, and then he whizzes around me, which was perfectly fine. But this is an example of autonomous cars obeying the rules of the road, being a little bit more cautious, mixing with human drivers. That's a water and vinegar and water that ain't gonna mix, folks. Oil and water ain't gonna mix. I mean, I can see where, you know, the human driver would, the guy zooming up in the lane, he probably said, why?
So here's the first where this exit ramp or lane starts for this exit, and it is 293 like I thought. It's just really weird. We're really far away from 293 on 40 in the other direction. I guess that's what makes it so weird. So she is now indicating that she wants to change lanes.
And there's a car zooming up.
And there is a car. I can see him in my mirror. It was safe, but there was definitely a car back there. Although I would say during rush hour, pretty much all the time, you're going to be hard pressed to get into this exit lane too quick. But you can see that from a human perspective and being familiar with the route, I knew that there was eons of additional time to get into this exit lane.
Right.
Now I highly doubt she's gonna. I would just be knocked, you know, speechless. I would be speechless if she handles this whole maneuver over here. This is a really tricky maneuver. And she says she's changing lanes now, but that really wasn't a lane change. I would just like to, and I've seen that before. It's really just sort of staying in your lane and getting into the actual exit interchange.
Now here's the merge. The people are merging into this lane.
And this is tight up here, people. This is tight. And she's indicating that she wants to go to the right. She knows she's got to get over to take this.
She got lucky.
Yeah, the guy behind us has seen the turn signal and is not running us over, even though I bet he'd like to.
Yeah. She's
braking here to get ready to take this. Like I said, if she makes this whole maneuver without Dawn having to take over, I will be speechless.
She always hugs a little too close
to the curb. We notice when she does these tight curves. Dawn has had to take her out before just because she gets too close. You know, we're not going to risk the rims to prove she can make it.
Right.
But she's doing fine here.
Doing wonderful.
Wow, I'm fixing to be speechless.
Wow.
So what we need to do here is go straight and then get over, actually just kind of stay straight to get into the overpass to get up.
Crap. I was trying to keep pressure on the wheel. She's trying to continue to complete the maneuver. She put up a message there that I may have missed, a yellow message. She did fine. Yep. Right. What? Well, it was a message sort of indexes. She says she's changing lanes now. She knows she wants to get over one more, and that is correct here. There's nobody coming, so she can safely do that. Speed up just a little bit, Ruby. Nobody really goes 45 to take this ramp into Crossroads. The speed limit might be 45 here. So Dawn bumped up the stalk, and now she knows it's 55 again. That was a little too slow there. You'll get run over. Oh, yeah, right. So we're heading into the shopping center, which is where the Target is, and she's turning over control to you in 400 feet, she says. And again, people do not take this slow. It might be the speed limit, but the minivan behind us got really close. Wasn't unsafe. It's just, again, you know, we got these semi-autonomous cars out here and they don't drive like people. When you come off of a 55 or 65 mile an hour thing and it's a wide 2-lane exit ramp, you're not really going to slow down quite that much. Right. As I said. So Target's just through this stoplight. Right. To finish up what I was saying a minute ago, when she got over when she didn't need to because the car had exited, the person who was zooming up in the lane that she got into, he was probably scratching his head, says, well, why is this idiot poking along, getting over in front of me when there is nothing in his lane? It's totally clear, so he's just getting over to get in my way. That's basically what this person had to have thought, and that's because Ruby couldn't string together that the reason the car in front of me is slowing down is because it's trying to exit, and oh, well, I've got Mad Max, so I need to get over into a faster lane. Oh, well, now the lane is cleared because the guy has exited. Oh, so I don't need to get over, so let me just stay in the lane. None of that happened. It was like, I've made up, something's triggered me, I need to get over to the next lane, and I'm gonna keep my blinker on until I can get over. So right. It's just, it can't you know, chess, you have to think 2 or 3, 5, 10 moves ahead. Ruby driving, you got to do a little of that too, and she can't do that. I'm just going to say that Dawn's seeing some behavior today on Mad Max that I didn't see with the average setting. Right. So next time out, I'm probably going to have Dawn try average. Right, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm not uncomfortable with, because every decision wasn't logical, but it was safe. In other words, it wasn't a human level driving, but nor was it unsafe. I mean, the person who was speeding, he got a signal, she got over plenty well. So all that was good. It's not actually started construction over here. We don't see anything started. There's a renovation for the Target that has some little portable trailer things here, but not actually any charging infrastructure underway yet. So I can't tell you what part of the parking lot, at least not that we can see. Since we were here, I just had to check. I don't see what I was hoping for. If Target has Hot Wheels hit any place else in there, I'm not aware of it. I didn't see anything. Usually at Target, I've just only seen them in the aisle on the one shelf. Thank you, Donnie. You're welcome, pretty girl.
It was about the same time to go home the back roads, back down to Fuquay, or to get on US 1 Highway 55 and go down. So I told Don, let's continue to check out Nav on Autopilot and to take US 1, because that will give him a few miles of additional lane changing opportunity and one exit. We're on the on-ramp and he's turned on Nav on Autopilot. All I guess I should say.
Get over 2 lanes.
Yeah, she's gonna have to, we're in an exit lane for Cary Parkway, so she's gonna have to change here. Change quick, Ruby, change quick. Well, she did change, and she changed in time. That's one of those cases, though, where if someone wasn't letting you merge in, or there was a car there, you would have had to have maybe taken over. I don't know. She did it okay. That is good. Now she's going to have to get out of this lane, though, too. Upcoming lane change message has showed up over there on the far side.
Yeah, she's waited too long now. Well, this car is zooming up, so that car's moving so fast that it doesn't matter. Hopefully she's going to get over.
Now she's going. So we are now out of the exit lane. And if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of these lanes go down, or at least this right lane won't go away.
No, this lane's going to go away.
It is too? Oh, down at Tryon. That's right, it goes away down at Tryon.
But this is plenty of time. She doesn't have to worry about, you know, this is, you know, it's a couple mile and a half from here.
Yeah, this overhead sign down here.
There's a Model S behind us.
Oh, there is a Model S behind us. Hi, Model S.
He waved.
So we've seen an S, a 3, an X. We saw a bunch of Teslas while we were at our little short time in Cary today.
Alright, she's fixing to get over.
Okay. The Model S is taking the exit here. Alright, she says she's changing lanes.
Hurry, come on, Ruby, go. There we go. See, she didn't do a good job there at all. Practically got ran over by that car.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
That was really close there. I have to admit.
Now, in all honesty there, what happened was she started to get over, and then she saw that car was zooming up on her too fast, and she wanted to go back into the lane we were in, but I saw the car had already did the get over thing, and
did you manually ask her to change lanes away from him?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he knows that that lane's going away.
Right.
Anyway, all I'm saying is, she wanted to go back into the lane she was in, which would have been all right, but basically we would have head faked that car, so I knew that that car was already diving into the lane that we were exiting, so yeah,
well, just to say, that guy was going
way too fast.
Way too fast. I'd say at least 15 miles over the speed limit, and changing multiple lanes in one lane change. But that's what people do. It wasn't, they were not being safe. However, that is what happens all the time out here. Now we have a classic car behind us.
Yeah. Right. What I was trying to get at is I was doing 65. She had turned on the turn signal, but yet that person, their thinking was, well, if I speed up even more, this person won't get over. That's what I'm going to go on the assumption that's what that person was thinking, because they were in a hurry and they saw the turn signal and they said, well, all I got to do, a human being would not dare pull over in front of me because I'm speeding up to basically close off their ability to get over. Well, Ruby, she started getting over, and as I said, Ruby wanted to, oh my goodness, there's this car flying up, and oh, I'll jump back into my lane. But like I said, the car behind us, I had already saw them dive over or start crossing over the line, and so I just went on. I grabbed the wheel and kept her going over into, because otherwise they could have easily rear-ended us, because they were driving so fast and they were expecting us to go
continue our maneuver. Yeah, instead of stopping in the middle of it.
So I'm being careful here. I realize she's got cameras, and I realize cameras can look, but there may be a possibility she's going to have a rear-facing radar, because I don't know that the cameras are good enough to calculate the speed at which some car is closing. Maybe that new hardware 3 they can triangulate, or you know, they might be able to do it, but there's definitely a need there to just because the lane looks clear, it is actually clear at that instant. However, the car that is currently in the lane could be coming much faster than one would expect.
So she made the exit here. She put on the turn signal. She's got us in the wrong lane though.
Yeah, well, there's nobody.
She's turning over control to you, but we needed to be in this lane, and that's not where she put us.
Right. And there was nobody behind us.
He's in the dark, but basically he was reiterating to me just now, and I agree with him, that there were several times today where Ruby had the opportunity to make a safe lane maneuver that was needed for an upcoming, you know, lane change. And she just stayed in her lane like everything was good. And then when she needed to make the lane change, she really needed to make the lane change. And that got her into trouble because by then, oftentimes someone had come up from behind. So maybe she should make the lane change while the getting's good. Right. And just go ahead and make it instead of waiting until, but again, that could be because of Mad Max mode. So like I didn't have those kind of issues yesterday, either because the situation was different or because the driving style was different. So again, I think next time I have Don out, he'll have to try average. And I'm not feeling inclined to bump mine up to Mad Max, not at this time. I feel like my experience yesterday on average was better than Don's experience today on Mad Max. Although it did provide for some entertainment when we were next to the semi.
Right, I want to be very clear.
Here, maybe he's...
Everything she did was safe. It just wasn't prudent.
It was correct to the strictest letter of the law of driving, but it
just wasn't what a person would have done. Even, well, I guess since Mad Max, maybe you're supposed to be a really callous driver. I mean, I certainly have seen people drive with that level of aggressiveness or assertiveness or callousness. I've seen people do that for sure, but you know, I guess that's what I was saying. It wasn't the type of perception that I would think that a self-driving car, because it's going to cause problems. That's going to lead to issues because people aren't going to expect, they're going to think that's a human there, because I'm sure the person who was zooming up said, well, I'm going to speed up because I know that this guy is going to not come over because I'm going to close off the lane. Well, it wasn't a guy, it was the computer was making this calculation, and it was hadn't quite come up with all the scenarios. It went through its little scenario, says, okay, I can get over. And it didn't. Again, just like the prior time, once it makes its mind up, and it pretty much, I'm stuck on that track until I complete that maneuver. Although in this particular case, she did try to come back after she started the lane change because she realized something was up. But it was, she should have never, something was up, should have never occurred. She knew she was going to get over in 2 miles out of this lane. It was wide open, so why don't I just go on and get over, since I know in 2 miles I'm going to get over, and there is nothing in this, no reason why I shouldn't get over. It was the middle lane. It wouldn't be in the high-speed lane. I mean, there's no law that says you have to stay in the farthest right lane on a 3-lane highway just because. But you know, that went from 3 lanes down to 2 lanes, and if she was in the middle lane, that would have been the proper lane, and she eventually got there. It's just that she waited too late.
I mean, my personal driving style is definitely, oh, I know I need to take that exit in 3 miles, let me go ahead and get over. I mean, and I've seen Dawn wait longer than I would wait, but there's waiting a little longer, and there's waiting until you've lost your opportunity totally, right? So I think, yeah, she needs to consider making these movements sooner. Right. My dear sweet boy. Hi. Hi. What you need? You need some more loving? You do? You and your shadow are looking exceptionally cute. All right. You can certainly tell it's Easter time in Carolina when the flowers on the phlox open up. Very pleased. I'm headed to get Johnny. I'm on my way back to Fuquay, and I have Johnny now, and the center screen just went blank and rebooted itself. So that doesn't happen very often. I'm just, you know, mentioning that it happened today. Probably have mentioned it in the vlog every day that it's happened. And oh, by the way, it's pretty hot, so the sooner the air conditioner comes back on, the better, because we're headed into the sun.